Hello everybody and welcome to Beginning Crypto. We like to cover everything crypto related, but we like to keep it as simple as possible for people. We just want to break it down to its most basic components. Basically what you would learn if you were to spend maybe 4 hours or so compiling your own information. So for today, what we're going to cover is we're just going to cover the most basic. What exactly is a blockchain? Now, if you are new to the crypto world, there's a lot of different exchanges and a lot of different places that you can buy, sell, and trade crypto. There's a few where you can get yourself a little bit of free crypto. If you're interested, go ahead and check out the description of the video. We'll have information on those there. So, what is a blockchain? A blockchain it's basically a database. It's a ledger. The difference between a blockchain and a traditional database is it's kept in the web. It is decentralized. That is the big word used amongst blockchain and crypto is decentralized. Decentralized finance, decentralized apps, so on and so forth. And by decentralized, what it means is it's not kept in one specific place. The blockchain itself keeps all the information. The blockchain is kept on various nodes around the world. And those nodes are not controlled or owned by the blockchain itself or the company. They are people that that have bought the cryptocurrency or are staking it or are mining it. Those are the nodes that control it. So the reason it's called a blockchain is because every time there's a transaction, once it is verified by other nodes, it creates a block verifying that transaction, and that block of information is then added to the end of all the other blocks. Hence, it's a chain of blocks. It's typically very, very fast. It's used for peer-to-peer transactions, be it financial, be it information. There's a lot of applications for blockchain, especially some of the newer ones. Some of the original ones have very, very, very few applications, but a lot of the newer ones have a ton of applications. Blockchain is also very, very, very secure. It's extremely difficult to hack. The reason for that is because of the decentralized nature of it. Plus, of course, the technology of it. It's called cryptocurrency for a reason. It's based on cryptography, which makes it very, very difficult to hack. But even if you were able to hack a blockchain and make changes to it, it wouldn't do you any good, because then if you try to do something with that blockchain that you had just hacked, if you try to make a change or do some kind of transaction, the other nodes are going to fail. The other nodes are not going to verify that transaction. They're going to kick it back. You would have to hack tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of nodes around the world, individually hack them in order to make a difference to the blockchain itself. There is something known as a 51% attack, however, but it is next to impossible to happen with most of the larger blockchains because of their decentralization. It's actually one of the concerns with how much some countries hold of Bitcoin, because they do most of the mining. I think one country holds about 70% or so of Bitcoin. So theoretically, if you could hack 51% of the blockchains, if they're all in one central location, if you could hack 51% of them, you could actually do some damage, because now you have more than half. So you have the majority, so that they would actually verify each other instead of failing to verify. But the odds of that are extremely slim. Plus the expense behind that would be just insane. There's absolutely no way you'd be able to pull off a 51% attack and actually make any kind of money. And the cost of it is just outlandish. Governments might be able to pull it off, major governments. That'd be about it. And when I say that blockchains are a database, that's what they are. They hold information. They hold information, and they hold it in a ledger, in order. Basically, it's just, think of it as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet for the most part. Only it's larger, more secure, decentralized. Okay? Now, with the decentralization, what that means is that because it's on so many more nodes, not only is it more secure from hacking, but it is actually cheaper as well. And the reason for that is because you're eliminating the middleman. Most transactions, you need a secondary person or a secondary company in order to make the transaction. For instance, if I wanted to send a relative in another country some money, I would have to use a bank via wire transfer or send them a check or whatever it may be. I would need to use a Western Union or a MoneyGram, another company, a PayPal, a Zelle, to send the money. There'd be a middle company in between us that would be the one that would actually send the money. And then the person would receive the money. So we're paying that middleman, that middle company, in order to do this. With blockchains, we can do it between ourselves. There's no middleman. It cuts out that money. And when it comes to information, a lot of blockchains have multiple uses besides just sending money. Some of them will host apps, some of them host information, such as identity. And the thing about these is that the decentralization also makes it safer from just acts of God. If you're a major company and you have a huge database, it's usually hosted on a server somewhere, and so you're of course paying that company to host your server. You're paying their costs, and of course they're trying to make a profit off of you. So again, you've got that middle person. But also, what happens if that company folds? What happens if that company fails? What happens if that company experiences a fire or an earthquake or something along those lines? Your information is lost. When information is lost, you're unable to access your information. The decentralization of blockchain means that doesn't happen, because your information is held multiple places around the world. It's not going to just fail because of one failure spot. And by removing that third party, you're removing the cost and you're removing the risk. As far as the speed goes of the blockchains, they are significantly faster. I talked about wire transfers earlier, and I'm using Bitcoin as an example because it was the original, and basically all it does is transact money peer-to-peer. For international payments, if you're looking at a bank, say you want to do a wire transfer, you're looking at 3 to 10 days. You're looking at 3 to 10 days for that to happen. It's got to, the bank has to process this, send it through, so on and so forth. 3 to 10 days, and you're going to pay quite a bit of money. With a blockchain, it is almost instantaneous. It can happen snap of a finger. Some of these blockchains, some of the earlier ones that haven't scaled up very well, they're known for being able to process maybe 15 transactions a second, transactions per second. But some of the newer ones are coming out where they're looking at being able to process millions of transactions a second. Millions per second. That's almost instantaneous transfer of money. So that is a very brief overview of what blockchains are. They're just ledgers. They're information. Now, one thing to think of too with the differences between a blockchain and a traditional database is that, say I've got a database being hosted somewhere else and it's used for my business, and it's some kind of inventory management thing. So I can go in, I can make changes as I receive product, and then maybe one of my satellite stores in another country or another state or even just another city can go in, can access that same database, and they can make changes as they've sold product and such like that. The thing about that is it's a one at a time thing, one change at a time. I access it, I do what I need to do, I send the information is now stored, now the other company accesses it, they pull it in, they make their changes, they send the information. With blockchains, everybody can make transactions and changes and load information to it all at the same time. It's also public. All of those transactions are stored on the blockchain, stored on the ledger, so that people can see every single transaction that particular blockchain has been used for. There are some blockchains that are pushing for anonymity and privacy, but most of them, that ledger is public. You can see, well, all of them, the ledger is public. Those that are pushing for privacy and anonymity actually are trying to mask the identity of the person doing the transactions through various forms, and we'll talk about those in some further videos. But the the ledger itself, it's public. You can see it. You can see what transactions have been used. You can see what's been done. You can see who's done it. And it's not just transactions. Again, some of the blockchains, they can host apps. They can host smart contracts, which we'll talk about later. They can do just a ton of different things. So that is the very, very brief overview of what blockchain is. I hope this helps you guys out in your crypto journey, and please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. We will talk to you guys later.